The internet just exploded again after new rumors and so-called leaked evidence connected to Drake and Kendrick Lamar started spreading across social media. And now fans everywhere are convinced this rap war might be far from finished. Just when people thought the tension between the two biggest names in hip-hop had finally started cooling down, new clips, screenshots, lyrics breakdowns, and alleged insider information suddenly appeared online, sending the entire internet into detective mode again. Reaction channels are exploding, fan pages are dissecting every line, and timelines are completely flooded with theories about what this new evidence supposedly means. And honestly, the timing couldn't be crazier, because for months, the battle between Drake and Kendrick Lamar has dominated hip-hop conversations worldwide. Diss tracks broke streaming records, fans picked sides aggressively, and every public appearance from either artist instantly became headline news. But now, according to the internet, there may be even more happening behind the scenes than fans originally realized. Some people believe the new leaks prove the conflict never truly ended and that both sides are still quietly sending shots at each other through music, interviews, and public moves. Others think the internet is once again exaggerating random details and turning ordinary rap competition into a giant conspiracy narrative for entertainment. But once social media grabbed onto the rumors, things escalated incredibly fast. Fans started analyzing old lyrics again. Podcast clips resurfaced overnight. Even tiny social media posts suddenly became evidence supporting giant theories online. And now, millions of people are debating the exact same question. Did these new leaks actually expose hidden details about the Drake versus Kendrick situation? Or is the internet desperately trying to keep one of hip-hop's biggest rivalries alive no matter what? What makes this story even more intense is that both artists have built reputations for calculated moves, layered lyrics, and subtle messaging inside their music. That means fans naturally search for hidden meanings in almost everything they do. A single line, photo, or interview comment can instantly trigger massive online speculation. But it's important to separate confirmed information from internet rumors. A lot of the viral evidence circulating online right now appears heavily speculative, based on fan interpretation, alleged leaks, and social media theories rather than verified facts. Still, that hasn't stopped the internet from treating this like the next major chapter in one of rap's most talked about battles ever. The moment those new rumors and so-called leaks started circulating online, the internet immediately went back into full battle mode over Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Fans who thought the rivalry had finally started calming down suddenly found themselves dragged right back into non-stop debates, lyric breakdowns, conspiracy theories, and social media investigations that spread across every platform almost overnight. What made this situation explode so quickly wasn't just the alleged evidence itself. It was the fact that people were already emotionally invested in the rivalry long before these new rumors appeared. The Drake versus Kendrick battle became one of the biggest hip-hop moments in recent history. And because of that, audiences are now hyper-focused on every move both artists make publicly. That means even the smallest detail can instantly become major news. A cryptic lyric suddenly feels intentional. A social media post becomes proof. An interview clip turns into hidden messaging. And once millions of fans start participating in the same theories together, the narrative grows far beyond whatever originally sparked it. That's exactly what's happening right now. Social media users are reposting old songs, podcast clips, livestream reactions, and screenshots trying to connect dots between Drake and Kendrick all over again. Some fans believe the new leaks prove there are still unresolved tensions happening behind the scenes. Others think the internet is simply refusing to let the rivalry die because the drama itself became too entertaining. Meanwhile, reaction channels and hip-hop pages are making everything even more intense. Every hour, new breakdown videos appear claiming they found hidden evidence or subtle shots buried inside lyrics, performances, or public appearances. Fans then rush into comment sections debating whether the theories actually make sense or whether people are stretching ordinary details into giant narratives. That's the power of internet fandom culture. Once people become emotionally attached to a rivalry, they start viewing everything through that lens. Suddenly, Random coincidences feel meaningful because audiences want there to be hidden meaning. And when both artists involved are known for layered lyrics and strategic public moves, speculation spreads even faster. Both Drake and Kendrick Lamar have built careers around calculated artistry, symbolism, and indirect messaging. Fans know their music often contains double meanings, subtle references, and carefully crafted narratives. Because of that reputation, audiences naturally assume almost everything they do publicly could contain hidden shots or deeper intentions. That creates the perfect environment for online theories to explode. If Drake posts something vague online, fans analyze it for Kendrick references. If Kendrick releases a cryptic lyric, people instantly assume Drake is the target. Even silence becomes suspicious to some audiences, and once those theories start trending, social media algorithms amplify them rapidly because controversy drives engagement. Another major reason the story feels so intense is because many fans never emotionally moved on from the original battle in the first place. The rivalry became deeply personal to audiences. People picked sides aggressively, defended their favorite artist non-stop, and treated diss tracks almost like major cultural events. Because of that emotional investment, fans are still searching for a final winner even though the situation itself remains subjective. Some believe Kendrick clearly dominated lyrically. Others argue Drake's commercial power and influence still keep him untouchable. That disagreement never truly disappeared online, it just became quieter temporarily. Now, with these new rumors, people are reanalyzing diss tracks line by line. Fans are revisiting timelines and interviews. Creators are building giant theories about hidden strategies behind the scenes. And honestly, much of the current evidence being discussed appears heavily speculative rather than confirmed. A lot of viral posts rely on interpretation, assumptions, and fan theories more than verified information. But in internet culture, emotional excitement often spreads faster than factual certainty. That's why the story keeps growing even without official confirmation from either artist. Because people aren't just reacting to facts anymore, they are reacting to possibility. The possibility that the war never ended. The possibility that more music is coming. The possibility that hidden tensions still exist behind closed doors. And uncertainty is exactly what keeps internet narratives alive. As long as there's no clear final resolution, fans will continue searching for clues everywhere. Every lyric, every appearance, every social media move becomes part of an ongoing mystery people feel emotionally invested in solving together. Right now, that obsession is turning the Drake versus Kendrick rivalry back into one of the biggest conversations in hip-hop all over again. As the rumors continue spreading online, the battle between Drake and Kendrick Lamar is starting to feel less like a normal rap feud and more like an ongoing internet phenomenon that refuses to disappear. At this point, fans aren't just discussing music anymore. They're analyzing every public move, every lyric, every social media post, and every rumor like detectives trying to uncover hidden truth behind one of hip-hop's biggest rivalries ever. That's exactly why the latest so-called leaked evidence exploded so quickly. People were already emotionally invested before the rumors even appeared. The original conflict became so massive that audiences are now conditioned to expect hidden messages and strategic moves from both artists constantly. That means even tiny details suddenly feel important once social media starts attaching meaning to them. A vague lyric becomes a diss. A random post becomes proof. An interview comment becomes a hidden shot. And because both Drake and Kendrick Lamar are known for layered writing and calculated public images, fans naturally believe there's always more happening beneath the surface. That mindset is fueling everything right now. Social media users are reposting old clips and analyzing them like brand new evidence. Some fans claim they've discovered subtle references hidden inside recent songs or performances. Others are building timelines trying to connect different public moments together into giant theories about what's really happening behind the scenes. Meanwhile, reaction channels and podcasts are amplifying the situation non-stop. Every creator wants to be the person who figures it out first, so theories spread rapidly even when there's little verified proof attached to them. Some videos confidently claim the feud is secretly still active. Others argue both artists are quietly preparing another major move against each other. But honestly, Much of the current conversation relies heavily on speculation rather than confirmed information. That hasn't stopped the internet from treating the story like breaking news anyway. Because in modern fan culture, emotional engagement matters more than certainty. Fans don't just want facts, they want suspense, drama, hidden meaning, and the feeling that they are uncovering something secret before everyone else does. That's what makes rap rivalries especially powerful online. Hip-hop culture has always valued lyrical competition, coded messaging, and layered storytelling. Fans are trained to listen closely, analyze bars deeply, and search for double meanings. So when two artists as massive as Drake and Kendrick clash publicly, audiences naturally start interpreting everything as part of the battle. Even silence becomes meaningful. If Drake says nothing, fans assume he's planning something. If Kendrick stays quiet, people believe he's calculating his next move. And if either artist releases music, the internet immediately searches for hidden disses line by line. That constant analysis creates an atmosphere where the rivalry never truly ends because audiences keep reviving it themselves. Another reason the latest rumors gain so much attention is because many fans still feel emotionally unsatisfied with how the original battle ended. Some believe Kendrick clearly won lyrically and strategically. Others think Drake's global dominance and influence keep him on top regardless of diss tracks. Because there's no universally accepted final answer, the debate remains permanently open online. And whenever a new rumor appears, all those old arguments instantly return. Fans start defending their side aggressively again. Timelines flood with old receipts and screenshots. Creators make hour-long breakdowns trying to prove who's secretly winning. At this point, the rivalry has become bigger than music itself. It's become part of internet identity and fan culture. People don't just support Drake or Kendrick because of songs. They support what those artists represent to them personally. For some fans, Drake represents hit-making consistency, dominance, and commercial success. For others, Kendrick represents lyrical depth, artistry, and authenticity. That emotional attachment makes every rumor feel much larger than ordinary celebrity gossip. At the same time, many commentators are warning that social media exaggerates these situations dramatically because controversy generates engagement. Algorithms reward emotional reactions, meaning the most shocking theories spread fastest regardless of whether they are accurate. That's why a lot of the current evidence being discussed online appears speculative, heavily interpreted, or disconnected from verified facts entirely. But once enough people repeat the same theory repeatedly, it starts feeling believable simply because audiences hear it everywhere. And right now, repetition is driving the entire narrative. The more people discuss hidden disses and secret tension, the more convinced audiences become that something bigger must still be happening behind the scenes. Whether that's actually true or not almost becomes secondary. Because at this point, the internet doesn't just want the drama, it needs it to continue to keep the excitement, mystery, and emotional investment alive. As the online frenzy keeps growing, the rivalry between Drake and Kendrick Lamar is starting to feel less like a rap battle and more like a never-ending cultural event that the internet refuses to let go of. At this point, every new rumor, every cryptic post, and every alleged leak instantly turns into another giant debate about who's really winning behind the scenes. And honestly, that obsession says a lot about modern hip-hop culture, because fans aren't just listening to music anymore, they are building entire narratives around artists. People now treat rap rivalries almost like TV shows unfolding in real time. Every interview becomes an episode. Every lyric becomes a clue. Every social media post becomes part of a giant storyline audiences feel emotionally invested in following. That's exactly why the latest rumors exploded so fast. The internet already expected there to be another chapter eventually. Even after the original wave of diss tracks slowed down, many fans never believed the tension truly disappeared. Instead, they assumed both artists were simply waiting for the right moment to strike again publicly. Now, with these new theories spreading online, people feel like they finally have proof the war never ended at all. Some fans believe recent lyrics and subtle public moves show that both artists are still quietly responding to each other behind the scenes. Others argue the internet is connecting completely unrelated moments together because people are addicted to the excitement of the rivalry itself. And honestly, both possibilities are fueling the conversation equally, because uncertainty is what keeps internet culture alive. If everything were clearly confirmed, the mystery would disappear quickly. But when situations remain vague and open to interpretation, audiences keep searching for answers nonstop. That's why every tiny detail connected to Drake or Kendrick Lamar suddenly feels massively important right now. A lyric with double meaning becomes headline news. A photo posted online becomes suspicious. Even timing itself becomes part of fan theories. Social media users are now analyzing release dates, captions, interviews, and even body language, trying to prove hidden tensions still exist between the two artists. Reaction channels amplify everything further by creating dramatic breakdown videos filled with slow-motion clips, screenshots, and emotional commentary designed to make the theories feel even more believable. That's one reason the rivalry continues dominating conversations even without direct confirmation from either artist. The audience itself keeps the battle alive. Fans replay diss tracks, repeatedly searching for bars they may have missed originally. Some people now believe older lyrics contain references that only make sense after recent rumors appeared. Others are convinced secret messages are hidden inside songs fans thought they already understood months ago. This level of analysis happens because both Drake and Kendrick built careers around layered artistry. Fans expect complexity from them. They expect subliminals, hidden meanings, strategic moves, and long-term storytelling. That expectation makes audiences naturally suspicious of anything vague or cryptic connected to either artist. At the same time, another major factor is driving the obsession. People still want a definitive winner. Even after all the diss tracks and internet debates, many fans feel emotionally unsatisfied because there was never one universally accepted conclusion. Kendrick supporters believe the lyrical damage already settled everything. Drake supporters argue that numbers, influence, and longevity matter more than internet opinion. Because nobody fully agrees, the rivalry remains permanently unresolved online. And unresolved stories always keep people emotionally hooked. That's why every new rumor instantly reignites old arguments again. Timelines become war zones overnight. Fans repost receipts proving why their favorite artist won. Podcasts spend hours debating theories. Live streams explode with arguments about bars, strategies, and hidden meanings. At this point, the rivalry has become much bigger than music itself. It represents two completely different approaches to hip-hop culture in the eyes of fans. To some people, Drake represents dominance, consistency, and global reach. To others, Kendrick represents lyricism, authenticity, and artistic depth. That emotional symbolism makes every debate feel personal to audiences. People aren't just defending songs, they're defending identities and values connected to the artists they support. Meanwhile, many critics argue that internet culture is exaggerating everything dramatically because social media thrives on conflict. The more divided fans become, the more engagement platforms generate. Algorithms reward emotional reactions constantly, meaning the loudest and most dramatic theories spread fastest regardless of accuracy. That's why so much of the so-called leaked evidence circulating online remains speculative or heavily interpreted rather than clearly verified. But once enough creators repeat the same narratives repeatedly, audiences start accepting them emotionally anyway. And right now, emotional belief matters more online than factual certainty. Because the internet doesn't just want updates about Drake versus Kendrick anymore. It wants the rivalry itself to continue forever. As the online chaos keeps building, the rivalry between Drake and Kendrick Lamar is starting to feel almost impossible to separate from internet culture itself. At this point, the feud has evolved far beyond diss tracks and music debates. It has become one of the biggest ongoing narratives in modern hip-hop, fueled constantly by fan obsession, social media theories, and the internet's addiction to unresolved drama. And honestly, that's why every new rumor spreads so aggressively. People don't just watch the rivalry anymore. They participate in it emotionally. Fans now treat every public move from Drake or Kendrick like another piece of a giant puzzle waiting to be solved. That's why the latest so-called leaked evidence if either artist posts a cryptic caption, fans assume it means something. If a song drops unexpectedly, people search for hidden disses immediately. If someone from either camp speaks publicly, the internet analyzes every word for subtle shots and coded messages. That constant interpretation has turned the rivalry into something much larger than ordinary rap competition. It's become an ongoing internet myth. Meanwhile, reaction channels and hip-hop podcasts are intensifying the situation non-stop. Every creator wants to uncover the real story first, so even vague details get transformed into giant theories online. Some creators claim recent leaks prove Drake is secretly preparing another response. Others argue Kendrick has already planned his next move quietly behind the scenes. But the reality is that much of the viral discussion still relies heavily on speculation rather than confirmed facts. That hasn't stopped millions of people from treating the rumors like undeniable evidence anyway. Because modern internet culture rewards emotional certainty more than careful analysis. If a theory sounds dramatic enough and gets repeated constantly, audiences begin accepting it emotionally regardless of whether it's actually verified. That's exactly what's happening right now. Fans are replaying old diss tracks looking for hidden bars they missed months ago. Some people believe recent events suddenly make older lyrics connect differently. Others are building giant timelines linking interviews, social media posts, performances, and industry rumors together into massive narratives about what's really happening between Drake and Kendrick behind closed doors. At this stage, the rivalry almost functions like interactive entertainment for the internet. Fans investigate clues, creators make theories, communities debate non-stop, and because the story remains unresolved, people stay emotionally hooked. That unresolved tension is one of the biggest reasons the feud refuses to die. Many fans still don't agree on who truly won the original battle. Kendrick supporters argue the lyrical impact and cultural reaction already settled everything. Drake supporters believe his dominance, influence, and commercial success keep him untouchable regardless of internet narratives. Because there's no universally accepted conclusion, every new rumor becomes an opportunity for fans to restart the war again. And social media absolutely loves that. Conflict generates clicks. Debates generate engagement. Emotional reactions generate views. So platforms naturally amplify the most dramatic versions of the story. That's why even tiny details connected to Drake or Kendrick Lamar suddenly become massive headlines online. A random lyric snippet trends worldwide. A facial expression during an interview becomes suspicious. Even silence from either artist creates new conspiracy theories about hidden strategy. Another major reason fans remain obsessed is because both artists symbolize completely different ideas about hip-hop to audiences. For many people, Drake represents consistency, global influence, hit-making power, and commercial dominance. For others, Kendrick represents lyrical complexity, authenticity, artistry, and deeper storytelling. That emotional symbolism makes the rivalry feel personal to fans because they see themselves reflected in the artists they support. People aren't just defending musicians anymore, they're defending what they believe hip-hop itself should represent culturally. That emotional investment explains why the internet refuses to move on. At the same time, critics are warning that fan culture can easily distort reality once audiences become emotionally attached to narratives. The more fans want the rivalry to continue, the more likely they are to interpret ordinary events as hidden evidence supporting that belief. And honestly, that cycle may be stronger now than ever before, because whether the latest leaks actually reveal something important or not almost becomes secondary once millions of people emotionally commit to the idea that the war is still active. Right now, the internet isn't just reacting to Drake versus Kendrick anymore. It's actively helping keep the rivalry alive every single day. As the internet continues spiraling deeper into theories surrounding Drake and Kendrick Lamar, one thing is becoming clearer than ever. This rivalry has officially grown beyond music itself. What started as diss tracks and lyrical warfare has transformed into a giant cultural phenomenon fueled by fan loyalty, internet obsession, and non-stop speculation about what's really happening behind the scenes. At this point, the battle almost feels permanent online. Every time the conversation starts slowing down, another rumor, lyric breakdown, leak, or cryptic social media post pulls everyone right back into the chaos again. And because millions of fans are emotionally invested in the rivalry already, even the smallest details suddenly become headline news across social media. That's exactly why the latest so-called evidence exploded so aggressively online. People didn't just want information. They wanted confirmation that the war was still alive. Because for many, that creates a situation where speculation starts feeling more powerful than verified information itself. Once millions of people repeat the same theories over and over, audiences begin emotionally accepting them whether the evidence is strong or not. That's one reason the latest leaks feel so massive online despite much of the discussion remaining highly speculative. People aren't reacting to certainty anymore. They are reacting to possibility. The possibility that Drake still feels pressure behind the scenes. The possibility that Kendrick has more hidden records ready. The possibility that the entire battle never truly ended at all. And uncertainty keeps audiences emotionally hooked because unresolved stories naturally create obsession. Another major factor driving the endless fascination is what Drake and Kendrick represent culturally to different audiences. Over time, the rivalry became symbolic of two different visions of hip-hop success. To Drake's supporters, he represents consistency, adaptability, influence, and worldwide dominance. His fans see him as someone who remained at the top for years despite endless criticism and challenges. To Kendrick's supporters, Kendrick represents lyrical purity, artistic depth, authenticity, and strategic precision. Many fans believe he exposed weaknesses in Drake's image that changed public perception permanently during the battle. Because those ideas connect deeply to identity and personal taste, debates surrounding the rivalry become incredibly emotional online. Fans don't just defend songs, they defend the values they associate with the artists themselves. That emotional intensity explains why every rumor instantly creates chaos again. People desperately want validation that their side won. And because no universally accepted ending exists, the internet keeps replaying the battle endlessly searching for one. At the same time, critics argue that fan culture and social media are now exaggerating everything beyond reality. They warn that once audiences become emotionally attached to narratives, they start interpreting ordinary events through conspiracy-style thinking automatically. A vague lyric suddenly becomes intentional warfare. A delayed release becomes strategy. A random post becomes hidden communication. And once creators package those theories into dramatic videos with emotional editing and confident narration, millions of viewers begin treating speculation like fact. Still, whether the latest leaks actually change anything or not may not even matter anymore, because the internet itself has become part of the rivalry now. Fans, creators, reaction channels, podcasts, and social media communities all helping keep the battle alive constantly through endless discussion and interpretation. The war continues not only because of Drake and Kendrick themselves, but because audiences refuse to stop emotionally investing in the story. And right now, that obsession is stronger than ever. The internet is still completely divided over Drake and Kendrick Lamar after these new leaked rumors and theories exploded online. Some fans believe the battle never truly ended and that hidden shots are still being exchanged behind the scenes, while others think social media is turning speculation into a giant conspiracy just to keep the rivalry alive. But now the biggest question is yours to answer. Did this new evidence actually change everything? Or is the internet simply refusing to let one of hip-hop's biggest wars finally die? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more viral hip-hop breakdowns, and stay tuned. Because with Drake and Kendrick, one lyric, one post, or one unexpected move could restart the entire internet overnight.